Yeah, bafowethu enhle kanjani nayivar sometimes wenza into ezigrand abantu bakuncoma abanye abanqaba.
Imagine a world where Africa is master of her own development strategies, contributes more than 1% to world trade, participates more actively in global forums and policy debate, attains the Millennium Development Goals. Why is Africa still so far from realizing this vision? Many explanations are forwarded, among them economic mismanagement, the ravages of health epidemics like AIDS and malaria, or the violent conflicts that have marked the continent for the past 50 years. However, more and more attention is being given to another dimension of Africa's development challenges, which is the knowledge gap. The knowledge gap, or the information divide, is described as the inability to produce, manage, and share knowledge. This gap is particularly critical in Africa. African countries constitute 36 of the 50 least developed countries, or LDCs, in the world. In the United Nations' most recent report on the LDCs, the issues of inadequate knowledge, technological learning, and innovation were highlighted as main obstacles to their development. Several statistics show how the knowledge gap is particularly critical in Africa. The capacity to produce knowledge depends on the human capital available in each country. Not only is the absolute number of tertiary students lower in Africa compared to other developing regions, but the continent also suffers from the highest rate of outbound tertiary student mobility. In terms of the capacity to stock or manage knowledge, this aspect can be measured in part by the presence and upkeep of libraries. Africa's capacity in this aspect is also far below that of other developing countries, with only 1,100 library service points across the entire continent. Finally, the capacity to share and disseminate knowledge can be assessed in part by the number of journal articles published per country per year. In the 36 least developed African countries, this number is only 24. The consequences of the knowledge gap are serious. Out-of-date or inexistent information leads to an inability to assess the situations and trends as they exist on the ground, which in turn leads to poor policy choices and ineffective development strategies. Secondly, the knowledge gap hampers possibility for innovation, which constrains economic diversification and specialization processes, leading to weak economic outlooks and marginalization in global markets. Finally, the knowledge gap is linked to the feeble number of academic journal publications and the declining university systems, which make it hard for African researchers to gain world renown in their field, leading to their intellectual marginalization in world forums. However, a solution is in sight. Technology provides the key to bridging the knowledge gap. Many development practitioners and institutions have identified the Internet as an inexpensive and effective vector for information creation and sharing, and have implemented programs that seek to increase Internet access and bandwidth and to train users. These efforts are paying off. Africa's growth rate of Internet users is the highest in the world, averaging 640%, with many countries' rates reaching well over 1,000%. Today's websites are not sufficient. Information is not centralized or easily organizable, especially for certain types of information, nor is it always up to date. Multimedia content, such as audio and video, is often overlooked. Knowledge tends to be static without any dynamic link between knowledge creators and knowledge users. And most importantly, sites have not yet incorporated Web 2.0 and 3.0 technologies to maximize their potential impact. Our proposition is to create an integrated internet platform based on the latest web technologies to create a common ground for Africa. Our initiative is CommonAfrica. Our goal is to create a website with the necessary outreach, animation, and innovation to ensure that all relevant stakeholders in African development participate. To do so, we will create both a social network platform and a multimedia virtual library. The social network is meant to attract members from all backgrounds, particularly academics, professionals, and researchers working on African issues. Our aim is to provide members with virtual tools to support interaction between knowledge users and creators, for information sharing, intellectual collaboration, and project implementation. The Multimedia Virtual Library is intended to offer a comprehensive approach to African studies in terms of media format, subject matter, and language. An inclusive range of subject matters, including hard sciences, art and literature, social sciences, as well as development studies, will be promoted in order to ensure diversity of membership. Thus, through our initiative, instead of individuals having to search one another out across the globe, we will have created a common area for Africa.